Okay. Michael, who's visiting here from Vancouver Island, outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, or actually is part of Vancouver, right?
Sort of.
It's complicated, but it's a beautiful place. We know that much.
Exactly.
And you're here to do quite a few interesting projects here, but we're here also to recognize Mr. Barack Obama here in the White House, and you've made a contribution in some of the work that you've done, and you've written a piece here that you'd like to share with us, and I'd love to hear it. And it's called I Want.
The poem is called I Want. I wrote this poem the weekend of Barack Obama's acceptance speech in Chicago. I felt then, I feel now, that this was a president that would actually reflect the changes of my generation and my culture. If I was to be able to say anything to the president, I would say this: Mr. President, I want, within my lifetime, mankind to be kinder to man, the world to echo the belief, yes we can, for children to live without fear, to know literacy and opportunity, equality to be truly equal, for a man's life to be valued higher than gold. I want the tally of one's true legacy to be measured by their mercy, for law to always speak the truth, for right to offer prayer to be absolute, the plague of racism to be vanquished, earth bounty to feed the hungry. I want the games we play called war to be declared forever over, the blindness of all hate to be granted sight and tolerance, the cries of the weak and the abused to be answered by the strong, our rainforests to be cherished, whales to roam free within pristine seas, the words spoken never again, to never again be needed to be said, every man to be a brother of mine, each child to be my child within my lifetime. Mr. President.
It's beautiful. And this is obviously a shot of the president as a small child.
This is a great shot of Barack Obama as a child. And if you think of my poem, originally came out of what a young child would say. To me, one of the great evolutions of Barack Obama's nomination was not that he actually is the president of the United States, but think of him as a child. If he was to look at his mother and his father at 5 or 6 or 7 and say, Mommy, Daddy, what can I be when I grow up? And the answer is, anything you want, yes, you can. I saw Poyntz, Busboys and Waiters profile on CNN in November, and it was a great venue. So what I did was I sent them an email and said, I'm a Canadian writer. I wrote a piece that was dedicated to and given to Barack Obama the week of his inauguration. And I would like to come down and perform this piece in front of an American audience because it's being released internationally on April 2nd. I got an email back and they said, just come on down. So I'm here. And I looked at home, I'm sorry. You can tell just by the gray hair that I've been around out of high school for at least 2 weeks. Okay, 3 weeks. I'm old enough to have seen a lot of different things come and go. I'm old enough to have seen the JFK inauguration on black and white television. I went to high school in San Jose, California, and I lived through that experience of the Martin Luther King assassination and the Robert Kennedy assassination, and all of the things that have happened since then. I'm old enough and young enough to still have a dream. When Barack Obama did his acceptance speech in Chicago, I was in a resort in Vancouver, Canada, and I saw something happen that I had never seen before happen in Canada. People got up and they walked over to the TV, and these are Canadians, mind you, we're conservative, we drink tea, not Jack Daniels. Well, a little bit of Jack Daniels. And what I saw was Canadians standing on chairs clapping for a politician. So I walked away from that experience thinking in my heart, I hope, I pray, I go on my knees and pray more, maybe now there could be a change. The fact is, it isn't as important that change actually happens in the White House now. Because no matter what you do, no matter where you've come from, you could stand at a breakfast table and ask your mother or your father or whoever, what can I be when I grow up? And the answer would be anything that you want to be. You simply have to want it bad enough to work hard enough and never give up. From that came, after the inauguration or acceptance speech, came this poem. I wrote it that weekend. It was sent to Barack Obama on the week of his inauguration. It is called I Want. I would like, forgive me, okay? I'm getting older. It's hard to see.
Take the sound.
If I was able to speak to the president in his first day of office, and he said, what would you like? We play called war to be declared forever lost. The blindness of all hate to be granted wisdom and tolerance. The cries of the weak and the abused to be answered by the strong. For our rainforest to be cherished. For whales to roam within free, pristine seas. For that the words spoken never again be needed to be said. That every man be called my brother, and that every child be called my child. Mr. President, I want. Thank you.
Michael, with you for all you folks who are in Vancouver watching us, that is that we can brag to having the largest Chinese arch in North America as far as free spanning. That's 6 lanes of traffic over there. Now, that's not to say that we have a large Chinatown, because everyone who lives around here knows that Chinatown is pretty small. But we have a fair amount of people of Chinese background, maybe around 10,000 or more. But that's a pretty big arch.
All right. All right.
So I don't know if I can impress you Vancouver folks with that.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. What makes this is ironic is I wrote this piece that I'm going to read right now in the oldest established Chinatown in North America, which is Victoria, Canada. And I wrote it, and it was inspired because I watched a 60-year-old Chinese woman bussing tables in a restaurant as I looked at a fortune cookie. And I wondered, what would that woman say to me if I asked her questions about life? And I think she might say this. I call it old Chinese sayings. There are no guarantees in life, save one. None of us, certainly not me, and possibly not you. No one can outrun the call of their own destiny. Once upon a time is a saying that was created only by the lawyers. Don't rely on fortune cookies as the reason to quit your job. Eat spicy Chinese food out of a carton, using chopsticks, sitting on a bench more often. Talk with strangers once in a while. Say these words daily. Please, thank you, and I love you, as if they actually matter to you. Draw your own lines carefully in the sand, but then defend them with everything that you are. Drink hot coffee from a bowl. Hold the one that you love with both hands. Whatever you do in life, do it with passion. Never ever do what your enemy expects you to do. Live well, but love better. Dance and sing your heart out every single day. Live, just live as large as you can. Remember the Alamo.
Huh. The Alamo.
The Alamo, baby.
Well, there's our Alamo right there. I like that. So this is all about being the best you can be, but being cautious, but go through life with a sense of joie de vivre. I mean, really wanting to take it
Exactly.
as your own.
Take risk, but live large.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit back and let other people draw their lines or their expectations in the line for you. Draw your own and then stand by those lines because they matter.
Okay. Well, if that involves standing out in the middle of the street, that's what we're doing right now. And so thanks for sharing that with us here, downtown Washington, D.C., on the corner of 7th and 8th Street Northwest.
Thank you very much.
See you soon.